listen, this is the the part maybe many of you wanted to wait for, which is, the annuity sale and how I've done $10,000 to $100,000 per sale in many cases. It all started with one $100,000 sale over 11 years ago using final expense leads. And I built that to, learning how to let's take these as annuities, taking $10,000 and just making $1,000 on it or a couple $100. But usually anything that ranges, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that your annuities will range between 100 to $500,000 out there. And then when it gets above this, it gets a little more difficult to talk to the person. You've got to bring the value, and hopefully what we bring for you to sell and use inside the house will help you bring a lot more value. And but 100K to a 500K you can do. In fact, when I sold my last 500K probably 6 years ago, that's the product, that's the sale that got me to Florida. And there was actually one sale that I made that was $1 million, and I split it with the owner of the IMO paid him $35,000 for 1 day's worth of work. And all we had to do was sign 3 annuities I did in 1 day. 3 annuities set up in 1 day, and he flew from New York, signed each one, and that was for $1 million. So if I can set 3 in a day, guys, believe me, that you can surely find 1 a year, 1 a month, 1 a week, 1 a day. You're going to illustrate a lot more doing this. So you've gotten through your sales process. The number one thing you must ask is after in the sales process you have asked for, do you have existing life insurance? You're going to want to say to Bob, do you have existing life insurance? Yes, I do. No, I do not. I say, Bob, what else are you leaving behind? And I draw it on my sheet. This is drawn out. So you have their names and their ages, 60 and 60. And then you draw this line over. What else are you leaving behind at death that Sally will inherit as a death benefit? What else are you leaving behind that Sally will inherit that has a death benefit to it? So what that states is that it has a death benefit to it. It's no longer considered a financial product. Now it's considered a death benefit. It gets Bob seeing it as the reality is my wife can inherit this as a death benefit. And then what else will she receive? Bob would state, I have a 401k. I have an IRA. I have annuities. There's going to be a list in this of things that you're to ask for. I have found 401ks, and then I earned enough trust with these people. They said, you know what, by the way, we have more. I have annuities, I have IRAs, I have bonds, I have stocks, and I get tons of paper all over the table. And it's just like, yes, keep it coming, keep it coming. And what I try to do is I try to mold a life for them. I might have a tall bucket here earning for growth and one for income here that has growth if they don't need it now, but they can start here. So when they take this in 10 years, this is here, and that this is up here somewhere, and then they start taking income from this, and usually this bucket will get them through life, but if that one fails them, they have that one backing them up for later on in life. But most of you will run into the fact that they can only do one, you know what I mean? So stuffing one away at the highest interest levels if they need growth for later on money, and if they need income now, they need income now. But remember that they have the free 10% withdrawal, so they don't have to turn on the income rider to it. So this is just about the language, though. Bob, what else are you leaving behind that your wife Sally will inherit that has a death benefit to it? Do you have a pension? Do you have a 401k? Do you have an IRA? Yeah, I have a 401k. Okay, at this point, I need to erase because I'm going to tell you that he's going to tell you that he has a 401k. Now, you know that Sally only has a $1,000 a month income. So he's going to tell you that he has a 401k, but he's not going to tell you how much it is in it. So the next step would be to say, Bob, you have this 401k, you have a 401k, great, wonderful. What's the death benefit on that to Sally? What's the death benefit on that to Sally? No longer will an agent be forced to look across the table and think, boy, I wonder if they have a 401k that I could sell as an annuity. How do I pull it? You know, this language is simple. Anybody can say it. I guarantee you it gets the money on the table. Build your rapport through this. Let them get to know you. In your structure, once you get to, do you have life insurance? And you're just looking for anything else that they may have. If they stay white, I'm here to give you all your options. I'm here to give you a number, right? By the state, this way I've been doing it for 15 years. I don't know what you're asking. You can just act stupid and say, you know, I don't know why you're asking me why I would ask you if you have a 401k. I'm in the financial market. So I'm here to show you your mortgage protection as a financial advisor and a life insurance agent combined in one, Bob, to make sure that we cover your wife properly. And I don't know what product I got to use yet, so I need to qualify you, and this is part of the qualification process. So just show them, tell them who you are, man. Say, Bob, don't interrupt me, man. I'm running this roost here. The 401k. What else do you have at death for your wife, Sally, that comes with a death benefit? And then also, what is the value of that at death? What's the death benefit value on that, Bob? Let's say he says it's it's got $500,000. Now everybody should be very happy about that, because depending on your contract level, that's it. You know, it could be anywhere from, if you have a decent contract level, $25,000 all the way up to $50,000 you can earn. It's probably somewhere in between that. So a lot of you guys would earn $35,000 to $40,000 on that one deal. That one deal, that's more than most people make in a year, and you're making it in one sit. And then you have the ability now to find these every day of the week when you're in the field, and you'll get addicted to it, I promise you. So what this process is that, hey, you know what? You got two choices depending on your experience level, is to say, you know, let me stop here. I want to tell you something, because this is a professional thing. I want you all to become extreme experts at this. And if I were you, I would definitely find somebody to go in the field with me at the point you're at in your career. I would have somebody that has the ability to contact the carriers, the ability to get you numbers on the table when you need it. This way you can keep Bob and Sally satisfied, and your numbers are coming to you as you ask. As you're going through this, the person over here is already on the phone understanding what you need to keep this flowing. And then you get an illustration on this $500,000. Now, if you're alone and you don't have this yet, you get this illustration for $500,000. You can go back to the home and just state, look, what I'd like to do with your scenario, it's a little different than others. And please, if you would, I think I can get you major discounts on things. And I'd like to present the illustration for you. It's going to show you all the numbers, and it's even going to share with you how to get your house paid off in half the time. Would you be okay if we rescheduled this and I go back to the office and I get a print up of this stuff? It'd be amazing if you can do that. The only fear that I have of doing that is that as long as you don't tell them what you're doing with this money, you can get away with that. The only fear I have is that they may sell the mortgage protection or final expense. So you may want to close that deal and then come back and say, you know what, I may be able to get you more discounts on this product, on the mortgage protection or final expense. I'd like to be able to come back. Do you guys available tomorrow or Thursday at like 1? You know, have your day planner open, have it with you in the house at all times, and then be able to come back. Or you can do this. You can say, Mr. Bob and Sally, do you have a computer? Say yes, 9 times out of 10. It has a printer, right? They say yes. Is there ink in the printer? I'm telling you what you have to ask, because sometimes they don't have enough ink to print it out. This thing's 18 pages, guys. Say, I need to get an illustration printed up to show you guys. I don't have my printer, and the car doesn't work, and would it be okay if I get something printed up for you too? And then that's all you need to do from there. And you know, you have your partner over here calling it in. They can actually leave the room when they're doing it, so they don't hear them saying $500,000. But if it's you doing it, you can walk away and do it out, you know, in another room or outside. Just say, I got to go to my car and see if I got to get some things out of my car. Just give me 1 second. I need about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to get this taken care of. I want to see how many more discounts I can get you. Blame it on the discounts. Now, the last way to do this is just to tell them what the hell you're doing. And this is the most, this is the way that I use, and I just punch it to the floor and I just say, listen, you have a 401k. As an ex-advisor, I understand by studying for many years, at retirement, you're no longer putting money into here, right? And you no longer have matches, Bob? No. And, you know, when she inherits this, they're going to tax this sucker by 35 to 50%. So it's going to be a hell of a lot less than $50,000 she inherits. What I'm suggesting, and the Congress is suggesting, and basically the government now, is that everybody take a look at what we can do for this number by increasing it. If you don't use that, Bob, you still have access to it. It's like this product here, but it's different that it doesn't tax your wife. It comes with a death benefit, so she's going to get more money. And then it has an average growth of about 8% annually, meaning easily in 7 to 9 year period that this number will be $1 million. I know that's hard to accept, but it just means doubling. And I'm going to tell you the fear that people have. People have the fear of seeing large numbers, believe it or not. They can't believe that they're in a situation to actually become a millionaire in 7 to 9 to 10 years. That's hard for them to accept. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The guy like this already was a millionaire. It's just all the hidden fees and the advisory fees and the downside markets have robbed him from this, along with market crashes. Plus, Bob, you get a 15% bonus. Now, learn your bonuses before you just tell everybody to get a 15% bonus. So that takes him to $565,000. You just made him $65,000, of which that 65 can be used to pay the house off. So this is how I'm teaching people how to pay their houses off. They get a home free. If he does this over the next 10 years, and historically it's doubled every 10, he's going to be able to pay his house off in 10 years using interest earned. He's still paying his mortgage payments, but he's getting it all back in interest. So now he has this home that's paid off with equity. Now you got him this nest egg that's paid off. This guy's, he's good. He's safe. $500,000 with downside market turns, fees, taxes, the whole 9 yards. They can run out of that before death. It's your duty as a licensed life insurance representative of your state to protect Americans, protect American retirees. The government's doing the same damn thing. They're going to annuitize money now in retirements. Why should you not? So you need the proof. We're going to get you the proof you need so you can bring the value of this to the table and show them that this is something that not even Congress accepts. Tony Robbins, most of the financial guys out there agree that Americans should be doing this. Even the top guys at the highest levels of financial services are talked to Tony Robbins in his book, Money Master the Game, which all of you should be reading, all of you, every single one of you, to know what Americans are going through and what they will go through so you can protect them from that. And I'm going to tell you, when you read that book, it's going to open your mind and it's going to open the powers to be up for you to sell a lot more annuities. But this language comes first. It's vital you get this down so they don't understand what you're doing, because you don't want to walk into a home and say, Bob, do you have a retirement plan? He's going to look at you like, you know, you're nuts for asking me this. And some people may, some people not. A lot of people, 50-50 chance that they may say, why are you asking me this? So they don't want to give personal information out. So this is where I learned to say, Bob, at death, what else will Sally inherit that has a death benefit to it? Then I can open it up to saying, we'll give you a list. Do you have a pension? I always start with pension. Do you have a 401k, an IRA, anything that she's going to inherit, Bob? Yes, I do. I have a 401k, I have an IRA, something like that. Okay, Bob, at death, what's the death benefit value Sally's going to inherit from that? And I'm going to tell you all something. These two do not talk about death. So what you're doing is you're getting these two to prepare for something that they don't discuss often. And they should, but they don't. And they don't know doing the numbers. And doing the math with them makes you the expert because they're not doing the math right. Oh, I have $500,000 for Sally. No, you don't. You got 400 grand after it's all taxed. You know what I'm saying? So, you have 250,000 after it's all taxed. They're not doing the math right, guys. And they're not seeing the hidden fees. The hidden fees, average mutual fund cost 3.1%. The average 401k costs 4.1% to 6.1%. This is people that never check on their products. This is what advisors get away with for people that don't check on their products. This is people that check on their products. Fees matter. Compounded over years. You know what this number would be without those numbers annually? It'd be $2 million that went to the advisor. Believe it or not, 70% of the wealth earned in the 401k goes to the advisors. That's the truth. That's the robbery. And then it's taxed. By the end result, they're getting 1%. And they don't even know it. They're bragging, I get 12%, I get 13%, I got a 6%. No, you didn't. No, you didn't at all. And then the advisor his expense ratio is 1 to 3% on top of that. So guys, the strategy here is to get the money on the table to get Sally the benefit that she needs to be able to pay off the house along with Bob. If Sally's dead, Bob, you got an income for life guaranteed now, and you're going to have $1 million, but it's $565,000. Times that by 2. I don't even know what that comes to. It's $120,000, I think. So it's $2,120,000 in 10 years. $2,120,000 in 10 years. It's something close to that. Anyway, do the math and you'll figure it out. So at the end of this result is that you got the numbers on the table by asking these. The bottom line is you need to get this, and then you need to get to the illustration. The illustration is what's going to help you sell this product, okay? And we're going to go over this more in live videos, but for now, this is all the education that you can get to just getting the product on the table to protect Sally and Bob. Make that annuity good for 2 people and the kids. So you take $500,000, you're on paper, right? Bob, this is how it works. They give you a 15% bonus. They take care of that just for surrender charges and old products. And if you had any, you wouldn't get the 15, but you probably don't. You don't. So it's just going to slide over tax deferred. You don't have to pay taxes on this, Bob. It comes out to $565,000. So I know you were having trouble stating that, you want to think about it. This doesn't fit in your budget. So here's $65,000 in just money that company's going to give you. You have access to right now. And this will grow to $2,120,000 in 7 to 9 years, and the longest 10 years. So we have a look back period that goes back 10 and 20 years. So for 20 years, if you had this same product, I know these are big numbers, Bob, but this thing would be about $4,300,000 20 years later. So you'd have $4,300,000. And believe it or not, if your company wasn't taking fees from you and wasn't taking all the advisory fees and hidden fees from you, you'd probably be that way anyway, due to market upsides. All the money you earned in the market went to the advisor. And I know you don't understand this yet, but that's why I'm here, is to explain this and protect you. So what we want to do is I want to just get an illustration. I want you to have the illustration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this printed out. So I want you to, do you have a printer here, Bob? Yes, and a computer, I assume too, right? Yes, why don't you just give me 5 minutes. I'm going to see how many more discounts I can get you on this over here. And I'm going to get this printed up so you two know what you're to talk about, okay, and discuss. All right, just give me 5 minutes. Then go print it. Okay? You can either walk out with the information without telling them that you know that they have 500,000. Walk out, go get an illustration from us or your upline or somebody that knows what the hell they're talking about in annuity sales, and then bring the illustration back. Set the date from the house. Don't call them to set the date. Set it from the house. And then get back in there. But that's the bottom line. The most important part is Bob, what else at death are you leaving behind to Sally that she'll inherit as a death benefit? And then Bob, at death, because he's just going to tell you what the product's called, IRA, 401k, cash in the bank. Then you ask him, at death, what's the value of that? What's the death benefit value to Sally on that, or the kids? That's $500,000. Now from there, your job is to get an illustration on the table. That's how I sell annuities, weekly, daily sometimes, and you can too. You want to become the best annuity guy out there? Take my word on it, use this strategy, and you will present more illustrations and you'll get more sales than you can ever imagine. And then we'll teach you seminars later on, but for now, if we're in the field, use this. All right, have a great day.